Hey fellas, in my shirt, I got in trouble with the wife for making this shirt. I thought it'd be kind of funny, but she didn't think so. Anyway, I'm plugging away at the HO229, and progress has been slow, and there are two reasons for that. The main reason is that because I'm doing something different with this, I'm being really careful with how I build it, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to go together. I've never built this kit before, and it's pretty complicated with the internal structures the way they have it, as you probably saw in the last video. And I'm doing a cutaway, so I have to make sure my internal structures are nice and neat and tidy and fit together well. So I've just been taking it slow. And another reason is because I started building custom knife sheaths with Kydex. And I've got a couple of my knife sheaths posted on eBay. So I may do a couple of videos on those, which is probably not going to interest the modelers out there. But the only reason I would do that is so I could tag a video in my eBay auction so people that are interested in my knife sheaths can see how they work. But so I've been kind of doing that, half and half building models and half making knife sheaths. So anyway, with this video, I've got the internal fuselage structure all painted up, and it's ready to go. And I've got the engines almost done, but I'm going to do some heat staining, and I thought that would be a good thing to show on video, to show you how I do heat staining. And I by no means am a metallurgist. I have no expertise or knowledge other than what I've read on the interwebs about metal and how it reacts to heat. Basically, I just go by pictures and what I've read. And with this plane, because there aren't any examples of the heat-stained engines, because I believe only 2 were built, and I get to kind of, it's almost like an imaginary plane, like a what-if plane, although it was actually built. It's not like you can look at different F-16s and F-15s and how the exhaust gets stained and everything. You can't do that with this one. So I'm going to kind of go on my own on this and kind of do what I think looks cool. And with this, it's got 2 jet engines, but only one of them is going to be seen with the cutaway. The right engine's not going to be seen, so I kind of partially built that one because you may be able to see parts of it through the cockpit, but the rest of it you're not going to see. So I kind of just I didn't put all the goodies on that one, but I did build up the left engine the way it's supposed to be built because it's going to be entirely seen. But let's take a look at what I got and show you how I'm going to do my heat staining. All right, let's take a look at this internal structure, and it's really fragile. This is it's really complicated, and I just saw it in the last video, and I went through and I ended up primering it. I just hated to spray, and I was using Vallejo, this stuff right here, and I'm not a big Vallejo fan, but it matches what the instructions say, and it looks pretty good. But I went ahead and primered this in black and then just sprayed the Vallejo. Did a little bit of an oil wash just to kind of give it a little bit of griminess. And then I overcoated it with a flat clear. And I did a lot of hand painting, like this little, I don't know if it's a battery compartment or what, and the blue thing over here, and some of these other gizmos. So I did a little bit of hand painting. Basically, you're just going to be able to see like this section right here, if anything. But you are going to be able to see the bottom of the exterior panel, so I'm going to have to paint those wood as well, wood look. And then here's the top piece that goes on like this, and this is going to be a task. I mean, this is going to be one of those things that I have to put in and do just a little bit at a time after I get the engines in. So let's take a look at the engines. Here's the one that's going to be seen. And as you can see, there's a lot of little tubes and wires and whatnot on here. What I did with this is I primered it in black, then came along with some aluminum, aka extreme aluminum, and painted both ends. And I ended up hand painting the green color on this part. I did mask off along here where it's black and paint that and kind of shade it a little bit. But this all right here was all hand painted, which was kind of a pain to get in there, but I got it done. The lighting's not real great, but and then this end I just kind of left black, and I sprayed some NATO black and just some different shades in there. Not that you're going to be able to tell because it's, you know, it's all enclosed, but just to give it kind of a burnt look. And then I came back with an oil wash just to give it a little bit of grime, but I didn't want it too nasty. You know, this is kind of a what if plane, and you know, if you're doing it in reality, it's probably going to be pretty clean because I think they only flew one of them once and it crashed, or a couple times and it crashed, and then the other one they hadn't flown yet. But you know, I wanted to give it some kind of an interesting look. But this is the one that's going to be seen. I'm going to heat stain it. And from what I understand, the hottest part of the metal would turn blue, and then it kind of goes to red, and then an orangish yellow. So how I'm going to tackle that, and I did some experimenting with inks. And this is the one that's not going to be seen, so I kind of experimented with this one. Normally what I do is I take Tamiya clear colors like blue, red, and orange, and I airbrush it. But some of the pictures I looked at kind of have this, get in close, this like, I don't know, just the way there's almost like a real how do I say that? I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't look right. And I thought maybe I would try inks with it, and it didn't really turn out the way I'd anticipated. I think there is some potential here with inks, and I am going to use inks on this, but just in a different way. Basically what I did is I put water on here, and then I just kind of took my different colored inks and put them on there and let them flow, so it kind of did its own thing. And, you know, like I said, I think there's potential, but it doesn't look right. It looks kind of like a mess. So I'm not going to do that. I also tried it on this other spare piece too, and you know, there's some, I think there's some cool effects, but I'm just going to have to do a little bit more experimenting with it. So with this, I am going to use the Tamiya clear colors. So I'm going to pretend that it got hot right here. So I'm going to start with blue and then kind of fade to red and then orange. And then right here where this kind of tapers, I'm also going to pretend that it got really hot right there, and I'm going to do a little bit of heat staining there as well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with some black ink and water, and I'm going to basically overcoat it with water and then dip some black ink in there just to kind of give it a grimy, natural look, and maybe even some sepia ink, and I'll show you how I do that. And I think that'll look pretty cool. As you can see, I got this taped up, and this is the black part that I don't want to get any clear color on. And then I also masked off with my Mr. Hobby masking solution, that little part right there. One other thing that I thought was really cool with this kit is they give you a couple different options. Let's try to zoom in on this, get a little closer. But they give you a couple different options with this. And this is actually a clear piece. So what I did is I dabbed some Mr. Masking solution into where the dials are, the face of the dials. And then I painted it. Yikes, sorry for my camera, guys. But I painted it, and then they supply you with a decal that goes on the back. Like that. And you don't even have to paint it, apparently, because the decal has all the colors and stuff that would show through, but I wanted to paint it. And so then like the dials show through, and it looks pretty cool. They also give you the option of having like a regular plastic part that you have to paint. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. That's about all I have. Jeez, gosh, I suck at camera work, guys. But anyway, let's. I'm going to get to painting the heat staining, and well, let's get started. Okay, now with this, they've got these little covers that go on. So the engine's going to be covered like so. Excuse me. On the bottom. So you're basically only going to see this top portion. Yikes. This top portion. But we're going to go ahead and do the whole thing. What the heck. And these are basic colors that I'm going to use. I may throw in some yellow. I got Tamiya blue. I'm going to start off with the blue. Then use Tamiya clear orange. And I'm going to come in, and where the blue meets the orange, I'm going to hit it with some red. And then I may come in with some smoke as well, but I'm not sure yet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've got some clear blue mixed with IPA. And I use IPA because it dries really quick. And so I'm going to come along here, and I'm just going to start. I'm going to kind of go slow. And just kind of build it up to where I want it. I'm just kind of trying to keep it a little even. And this is one of those things when you're spraying this stuff, it'll sneak up on you. You kind of got to stop, take a step back and look. Because it'll sneak up and on you, and you'll cover a lot more than what you think you had if you just kind of, if you don't take the time to step back and look at it. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Now I'm going to put some blue right along here. Maybe a little heavier in some spots. Okay, and now I'm going to use some clear orange, and this is when it comes in handy to have a couple different airbrushes. So I'm going to pull out my Sotar 2020. That way I can keep my blue in my airbrush. My dog's barking outside. Put in a little bit of IPA, a little bit of orange, okay, I'm going to come in and kind of get that orange over the whole thing and kind of have it made up to the blue. and just gradually build it up. It doesn't matter if you get it on the other one, they all kind of blend in. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out another airbrush. Let's use the Evolution. This in here. Let's see. Put some IPA in here. I don't want to go overboard with the red, but I do want to get some red in there. I'm not used to this airbrush, so I may screw this up royally. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the red, and where the orange meets up with the blue. Yikes. See, I'm not used to this, and I'm spraying heavy. Kind of hit this. Maybe along both edges. And it's really easy to go overboard, so I'm probably going to go overboard on this. I'm going to come back in with a little bit more blue and kind of hit some, maybe darken it up. Come back with some more orange. And you just got to play with it till you get to where you want it. See if we can see that. That looks kind of cool. Maybe a little bit more blue right here. Maybe bring my blue up a little bit. Kind of change that red to a purple. Almost don't like this. All right. So there I got some heat staining. I'm going to let this, it's probably already dry. Yeah, it's already dry. With that IPA, it dries really quick. So I'm going to, now I'm going to take my ink and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so what I've got here is I've just got plain water and I dipped a little black ink into the water. But I've got Dr. Bombay's black ink and the sepia. So I've got sepia, my black ink, and my water. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my engine and just coat it with the water. And then I'm going to take my black ink. Might be a little too much. Whoa. That black ink is really strong. So I'm just diluting it with the water. And this is going to go everywhere and kind of do its own little thing. It's going to kind of give it a grimy. Let's add a little bit of sepia. And I really want the water to be heavy on there because I want this to go and come out with a natural look rather than it's just painted on. And I may have to come back and play with this. But keep in mind, once this ink dries, you're not getting it off unless you're taking the paint off underneath it. Okay. I'm going to let that dry. That's what it looks like wet. Now I'm going to let this dry, see how it looks, and then I'll come back. If I need to, I can put some more on there. All right, here's what it looks like. And I don't know, could be better, could be worse. But kind of grimed it up, and you can see it kind of did its own thing, and it's kind of the look I was going for. I probably should do something with this black part, maybe grind that up a little bit, which I'll probably do. But I got these in there. They're glued, so hopefully they're in there correctly. I double checked, so. But yeah, that's what it looks like, and this part's going to be covered, so you're not going to see that, my experimentation over there. So this is the only one you're going to see. But yeah, I think it turned out okay. I think that'll look pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it went kind of long, but I wanted to show you how I do it. If you got a better method or something that works better, let me know. I'll catch you on the next video.